I'm here with Michael Strassner, star and co-writer of the Baltimorons. I will just start off. Love this movie. Absolutely freaking loved it.
Thank you so
And
much. Appreciate that.
This is such a weird movie because it's like it's kind of kind of a romantic comedy, but you don't make it easy. In fact, your guys' chemistry is so good in this, but then you have that one. I won't give it away, but there's that one little wrinkle in it where it's like they can't get together, but I really want them to, but I feel bad about this. What was kind of the whole process and the ideas of writing this?
Well, it came from Jay and I, and the main thing we kind of wanted to do is just do a movie that you feel like you'd see in the 80s, or the 70s, like that type of feel, that type of aesthetic. It is a rom-com, but I think it's also a buddy comedy and a heist movie and a straight up comedy and a little bit of a drama. We kind of like wanted to put all the things that we love going to see in movies into this. And I say heist in the very, we steal my car back from a tow
Yeah,
lot. It's not Ocean's 11 by any means, but
he
uh
kind of is a little bit.
yeah, like a little bit. And we just kind of wanted to incorporate the movies that we love into this one. And also just try to have a story about human beings, dealing with life because I feel like we don't see them that often anymore. Uh, and about two people that, are strangers and to see where the night takes them. I always like to call it a planes, trains, and automobiles meets Harold and Maude meets Before Sunset. Um, you know, with a little bit of energy of like Chris Farley.
Yeah, I definitely picked up on that. I even got kind of a little bit of holdovers vibe to it, mostly because
Sure.
the
Yeah.
the look. When when did Liz Larsen come in? Because the chemistry between you and her is freaking electric in this.
It's kind of crazy, Eric. We actually didn't do any chemistry reads at all. We it was the tail end of the SAG strike, and Jay had seen her on in the musical Transparent that he, of course, was on, and she played Jay's mom on the in the musical, and he just kind of had in the back of his head, I think I have a role for this woman, and he met with her about I think it was like first week of November 2023. They just had lunch because we couldn't audition anybody because the strike was still going on. So they had lunch and just kind of talked and didn't talk about the movie at all. Talked about Liz's life, how she feels like her career was kind of winding down a little bit. She was not really getting the roles that she used to. Once she turned 50, that people stopped inviting her to the party and, just not really feeling seen anymore. And after that lunch, uh, Jay told Liz, "Well, you want to make a movie?" And Liz was like, "Yeah, sure." And went home to her husband. She's like, "I'm never going to hear from that guy again." And 3 weeks later, we were on the ground in Baltimore shooting. And yeah, we really didn't rehearse and do any like table reads or anything like that. It was just the thing that I think the reason why Liz and I's relationship and chemistry works on this is because we didn't have any trailers. We were sitting in the Cadillac or the Mercedes after each take in between. We were getting to know each other as human beings. And I think by doing that, it just made our chemistry so much stronger.
Does any of that like translate like outside of the movie? Because like I know when people are making movies, like they kind of develop a bond, and when the shoot ends, like it's like you're breaking up with friends at the end. But like having that kind of chemistry with someone, does that make it harder when the movie ends? Like, oh man, I don't know when I'm gonna see you next, and this kind of sucks.
I think it does if you feel like you make something and it just doesn't go anywhere. But because this has gone to places we couldn't even have imagined, our friendship and relationship has become even stronger. Um, Getting to see her, like we just spent New York, like she's gonna be in Baltimore on Wednesday. We just spent all this time in New York with each other, and her husband Sal and my fiance Jess, we all got to hang out in the green room together, and she's just the best. And we really, I have a lifelong friend in Liz, and we really did something that I think we're both very, very proud of.
Yeah. Also, want to talk about the title Baltimorons. In the movie it explains what that is, but walking in. all I knew was the title and then saw the poster. So I'm like, oh, this is gonna be like Dumb and Dumber, dude, where's my car? And then I watch it, I'm like, whoa, this, I mean, it opens with you trying to hang yourself. So right
Yeah.
away, I'm like, oh, this is not at all the movie I thought I was walking into.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's definitely, I would never name a movie Baltimoreans if I wasn't from the city and grew up there. That's something that I think people wouldn't love from that area. But you know, uh, I think we definitely we put that as the title because we really couldn't find anything that beat it, Um, that's just such a great title. And it does, you find out later why it is called that. And we just frankly, and also like Cliff himself does a lot of moronic behavior throughout it, which you also find out, like I think Dee Dee is not really much of a moron, but Cliff definitely is.
Yeah, yeah. Dee Dee tends to be like, oh, I gotta get him out of this.
Yeah.
Although I wouldn't call Cliff a moron because he's definitely savvy. I think he puts on that air a lot more
Yeah.
than maybe he wants people to think that about him more than he lets on.
Yeah. 100%.
But what kind of release you got? So it's playing in select theaters now and it'll open wide. But like this is a really good movie. Like I don't know. I don't want to gas you up, but I feel like you should push for awards on this because this thing's really, really good.
Oh my God. Thank you so much, Eric. It's crazy because when Jay made this thing, he was told, uh, don't make a movie, an independent movie without any stars. Nothing is selling and everything is going to streaming. And we made this movie. It got into South by Southwest. It won the audience award there. It's getting a nationwide release because of IFC, and and it's playing in over 300 theaters nationwide. So nobody knows anything, and this little movie is a little movie that could right now. It comes out on Friday across the whole country, and if you go to Baltimoreans movies, baltimoransmovie.com, you can see where it's playing near you. And it's just been beyond our wildest dreams of what's happening right now, because this is not a movie that usually gets picked up for a theatrical release. But I think because it's touching the hearts of so many people and it's, got all those feelings, it's something that I feel like is not in theaters right now. And if you want something different, you got to kind of support these little movies that, have a lot of heart and character in them.
There seems to be a sea change in that regard. You just mentioned like you can't make a movie with like no stars and whatnot, but I mean, I would say a movie like this would make stars for sure, especially out of you and Liz. And
Yeah.
on
Well,
top of
that's
that,
what
like
Jay says. Yeah.
the comic book movies seem to be on the decline, and the original movie, like K-pop Demon Hunter, that's not
Yeah.
IP.
Oh,
That's blowing up. So why not?
yeah. Well, and Jay always likes to say, you know, he says, we're not movie stars, but once you see this movie, Liz and I will be movie stars, and that's our director being super kind to us.
Oh,
uh,
inaccurate if you ask me.
well, thank you very much, Eric. I appreciate that.
But yeah, so Jay's also known for doing like indie movies, and he said like talk to Liz. Oh, it's probably not going to hear from him, and 3 weeks later you're making the movie. Like how quickly does a movie like this come together? Because I imagine it'd be a lot quicker than normal, or not just come together, but like come together, get shot, and be done.
Yeah, we started writing this thing in April of 2023, and then we started shooting, or we went to pre-production in October of 2023, and then we shot it in December of 2023, and then we were wrapped in post by August of 2024. Um, and then just kind of fixing things throughout once we got into South by, and we kind of knew we probably were not going to make it for 2024 just because we wanted to have a little bit of a festival run, and it certainly did. And we like I think ended up playing like I think we're at like 15 festivals so far, and we've like won audience awards at a lot of them, which is kind of crazy. And we just kind of put this thing together from basically backing it in from my life, Liz's life, and Jay's life is how this whole story kind of came together.
Been your experience at festivals? So I've heard some people like they'll make a indie movie, they'll bring it to festivals, and that's kind of where it lives and dies. And then other movies like they kind of go to festivals, get a bunch of buzz and blow up. Just like overall, been your impression of festivals? Is it just kind of a crapshoot or?
I mean, for this, I mean, I've had short films that have played in festivals, here and there, but it has been nothing like this. This has been the craziest experience of my life with festivals. Getting to premiere at South by Southwest was absolutely incredible. Uh, you know, that festival, I think, truly is the best one in America right now. It's the most films were bought out of there this year than anywhere else in the U.S. And they bring a market that I think like people are dying to laugh right now, and I think we need more laughter in the theaters. Um, and a lot of movies at South by are comedies, and this is a comedy. It's a drama. It's got a little bit of everything. But my experience at South by, at Nantucket Film Festival, P Town, uh, they're just really great communities that you start to build. Like I've met so many amazing filmmakers on from since we premiered at all these festivals that you know we're like the class of 2025 with the movies. So we all kind of became friends, and I think there's a lot of I believe there's a ton of hope for independent films, and I think the only way to have independent films is for festivals to keep on discovering new voices at these places,
Yeah.
and
Well,
seeing people that you don't see in every movie at these festivals.
yeah. Well, I would encourage everyone to watch the Baltimorons. It's an incredible film. And just to leave on this, I want to get actually two recommendations from you. One's a recommendation of a movie that's real personal to you, or a movie that's like, this movie's real good, but like no one talks about it. But I also want to get another movie of yours. Someone goes to watch Baltimorons, and it's like, I like that Michael Strassner guy. Let's see what else he's got. What do they watch after of yours after they're done with Baltimorons?
Um, Man, I think a movie that I love that not many people why I mean like 25th Hour is one. It was a Spike Lee movie back in 2001 that I think it's gotten a little bit of that's just one that I feel like isn't one that's kind of smaller that I love very much. Or Day Trippers as well. That's an indie movie that just I love, that day in the life type of thing. And for me, I mean, I would say, I was in a couple episodes of Young Rock, Parks and Rec, Modern Family. But what I really want to be doing from here on out is just making movies. So I would say go watch a Duplass movie because those are my favorites too, growing up.
There you go. And I want to see you in more movies. Michael, thanks for joining me today, and congratulations on the movie.
Erik, thank you again so much. Have a great day.
You too.